Imagine a world where the grid doesn't just fail, it vanishes in a silent, invisible flash that erases centuries of technological progress in a single heartbeat. You are part of a prepper community that prepared for the worst, only to find that Iron Refuge isn't just a fortified bunker, but a crucible where every supply, every alliance, and every moral choice is tested against the brutal reality of a society stripped bare. But when you discover that the EMP wasn't an accident, but a calculated strike designed to reset civilization, you realize that survival isn't just about hoarding canned goods, it's about defending your sanctuary against those who would burn it down to build their own empire from the ashes. Welcome to Iron Refuge, the definitive, pulse-pounding, and deeply strategic box set in Colton Lively's post-apocalyptic saga. If you love EMP survival tropes, realistic prepper fiction, and stories that explore the sheer, unadulterated terror of facing a world without power through grit, ingenuity, and superior tactics, this audiobook marathon will completely consume you. It is a masterclass in speculative fiction, blending the visceral crunch of tactical combat with the profound weight of community defense. The narrative kicks off with our protagonist's immediate response to the blackout, thrusting them into a race against time to secure their perimeter before the first wave of desperation turns neighbors into enemies. The atmosphere is thick with the silence of dead engines, the static of useless radios, and the creeping dread of knowing that every decision could branch into a timeline where their refuge becomes a tomb. Lively excels at capturing the psychological toll of long-term isolation, making every tactical maneuver, every resource allocation, and every narrow escape feel like a high-stakes gamble, where the price of failure is not just death, but the collapse of everything they've built. At the core of the box set's massive appeal is its spectacular prepper leader trope and the brilliant asymmetric warfare dynamic. This isn't just about shooting raiders, it's about understanding the complex ecology of post-collapse logistics, managing dwindling resources, and using human ingenuity to outsmart enemies who rely on brute force and superior numbers. Watching the protagonist reverse engineer enemy tactics, forge uneasy truces with other survivor groups, and completely shock arrogant warlords with unconventional, trap-heavy defenses is incredibly satisfying. The audiobook narration brings the visceral impact of the combat to life, making the crack of rifle fire, the shudder of impact, and the frantic whispers in the dark feel incredibly real and deeply immersive. But beyond the spectacular action and the survival mechanics, the soul of Iron Refuge lies in its characters and the heavy burden of leadership. The protagonist isn't an invincible hero. They are a deeply human individual struggling with the moral weight of making impossible choices to protect those they care about. The emotional anchor of the story is their fierce, complicated bond with the small group of survivors they reluctantly allow into their orbit, a found family bound by shared trauma and the knowledge that they are the last line of defense against total darkness. The audiobook format elevates these intimate moments, making the quiet conversations by a flickering candle feel just as impactful as the explosive, chaotic firefights on the perimeter. As the plot accelerates towards its climax across the entire box set, the pacing becomes utterly breathless. A major raider gang or a government remnant targets the community sanctuary, forcing them into a desperate, high-stakes last stand. The finale is a breathtaking display of tactical brilliance, overwhelming improvisation, and raw, unbridled courage. The protagonist must use every hidden trick, every overloaded trap, and every ounce of their will to hold the line against an unstoppable tide. The payoff is spectacular, delivering a massive, hard-earned victory that proves humanity's greatest weapon isn't its firepower, it's its refusal to surrender its soul. Iron Refuge is a triumph of the post-apocalyptic thriller genre. It is smart, gritty, and unapologetically intense. Colton Lively has crafted a saga that perfectly captures the thrill of the ultimate underdog holding the line. Plug in your headphones, check your perimeter, and join the fight. The world is broken, but their defiance is eternal.